All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, I'm really gonna ask you guys to kind of tell me what to make of this, because when I was doing the research about LeBron getting swept in the finals and all that, I came across this other stuff. And I wasn't sure any one thing. I didn't think it was enough to like make a whole video out of it. But all of it, I mean, this stuff just blew my mind. And, you know, like I said, I can't make sense of it. I need somebody else to tell me what the hell is going on with this stuff. I'll just get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing is LeBron James beat 5 number 1 seeds in the East. He was actually 5-2 against number 1 seeds in the East in his whole career. I think the only 2 that he lost was in 06 against Detroit and 08 against Boston. I think that was the only 2 losses that he actually had against a number 1 seed. He beat Detroit in 07, Chicago in 2011, Indiana in 2014, Atlanta in 2015, and Toronto in 2018. Beat all 5 of them, right? Okay, so we've established that. Now, out of those 5, he won no championships right here. 2007 against Detroit, he got swept in the finals. 2011 against Chicago, lost in 6 in the finals. 2014 against Indiana, lost 4-1 in the finals. 2015 against Atlanta, lost 4-2 in the finals. In 2018, beat Toronto, got swept in the finals. Against those number 1 seeds, when he went to the finals, a 20-5 record against these 5 teams. 20-5. That's great. Then how the hell do you then turn around and go 5-20 against the West? Don't tell me competition, because nobody is going to be that dominant and then be that horrible. That is crazy. I mean, the Bulls in 2011, that's a solid team. Indiana was a 56-win team. Atlanta won 56 games in 2015. Toronto won 59 games. You're that dominant against all that, and then that terrible against these 5 opponents that you played in the finals. I cannot make sense of it at all. And that's just one thing. All of it combined is just mind-blowing. All right. The other thing, there's only been 5 number 1 seeds that have been swept since the merger before the finals. Now, in the finals, sure, there's been number 1 seed swept, whatever. But before the finals, only 5 since the merger. Here's who they are. The 1977 Lakers, they got swept by Portland. Portland won the title. They beat Philly 4-2. Actually, they were down 2-0, came back and won 4 straight, won it in 6. Okay. In 2001, San Antonio, they were the 1 seed. They got swept by the Lakers, but the Lakers were right in the middle of their three-peat. They won the championship. That was championship number 2. The 2003 Detroit Pistons, they got swept by New Jersey, but New Jersey lost in 6 to San Antonio. Okay, no problem. 2015 Atlanta Hawks, they got swept by Cleveland. Cleveland lost in 6 to Golden State. And in 2018, Toronto got swept by Cleveland, and Cleveland got swept by Golden State. So, this is what I don't get. There's only been 5 number 1 seeds ever since the merger swept before the finals. Only 5. The top 2 won the championship. The other one was New Jersey, and they were a 52-win team. They lost in 6 to San Antonio. Okay, whatever. 2015, Atlanta swept by Cleveland. Cleveland loses in 6 games to Golden State. They had a 2-1 lead. And then in 2018, Toronto swept them. Cleveland gets swept themselves. So you sweep a team that was the number 1 seed, and then you turn around and get swept. This stuff just doesn't make sense. In fact, the only team to sweep a team over 55 wins and then get swept is the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers. They sweep Toronto, and then they get swept by Golden State. Since there was an 82-game schedule in 1968, I went back to that far till there was an 82-game schedule in 1968. It's only happened once that a team that beat a team over 55 wins and then turned around and got swept themselves. It just doesn't happen. That's the one and only time it's happened. Again, how can you be this assertive and dominant and then just fall apart and be just like an average team in the finals? I've never seen anything like it. I mean, like I said, I'm going to need your guys' help on this one because it is crazy that no one ever talks about. I never hear anybody on any of the networks or even on YouTube ever bringing this type of stuff up. Does anybody know that this is the anomaly of the NBA? How a team could be this dominant when they play teams within their conference and then be this, just look like it makes them look like an average team in the finals. I know I've done videos about this in the past about, being dominant and, just the record of, what LeBron did in the first 3 rounds versus the finals and all that. But this is different. This is in-depth. And this is specific series and going up against history. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Okay, from 2015 to 2018, that 4-year period, Cleveland had more sweeps from the second round on, meaning the conference semifinals, the conference finals, and the finals. Those 3 rounds only, not the first round, because of course there's probably a lot of sweeps. But this is what happened between 2015 and 2018. In 2015, there was only 1 sweep between the conference semifinals, the conference finals, and the finals. So that would be exactly 7 rounds per year. There's 4 rounds in the conference semifinals, 2 rounds in the conference finals, and then, of course, the 1 round in the finals. So 7 total rounds per playoff run. In 2015, the only sweep in the semifinals or later was the East Finals in 2015. Cleveland swept Atlanta. Okay. The only sweep in 2016 was Cleveland beating Atlanta in the semifinals. Okay, so that's already 2. Only Cleveland is the only team sweeping anybody. Not Golden State, not San Antonio. Nobody else is sweeping anybody in those rounds. Not Oklahoma City. No one is sweeping anybody except Cleveland. In 2017, in the conference finals, Cleveland sweeps Toronto. Okay. But also in 2017, that's the year that Golden State got Kevin Durant and all that. Golden State did sweep Utah, and of course, they swept San Antonio. But in order to sweep San Antonio, I think we would all agree they needed Kawhi Leonard to get hurt because they were losing that game in the middle of the third quarter, down by, I think it was 24 points in the middle of the third quarter. It certainly looked like San Antonio was going to win that game and make a series of it. I don't think San Antonio would have ended up winning that series. Of course, we're never going to know for sure. Maybe. But for sure, I feel like San Antonio was going to win that game. And if not that game, at least one game, right? So they needed Kawhi Leonard to go down. So there's circumstances behind that one. But even still, up to that point, from 2015 through 2017, Cleveland swept more teams than the rest of the NBA combined. They got 3 of the 5 sweeps in 2015, 16, and 17 from the semifinals on. All right, in 2018, the sweeps were Cleveland sweeps Toronto in the semifinals, and then turn around 2 series later in the finals, and then got swept by Golden State. So all told, there was 7 sweeps between 2015 and 2018 from the semifinals on. Cleveland got 4 of them. 4 out of the 7. And that's not just against Golden State. That's the rest of the NBA. They got 4 of them out of the 7. Cleveland had more sweeps between 2015 and 2018 from the semifinals on than the rest of the NBA combined. And that includes the 2016 Golden State, 2015, 16, 17, 18, all those Golden State teams. They won 3 out of 4 championships. Cleveland had more sweeps than they did. And then for like a culmination of it, whatever you want to call it, Cleveland is one of the teams that got swept. And I just find this whole thing just baffling. I've never seen a team that has done stuff like this, so good, but yet so bad in the same, run. I've just never seen anything like it. I don't understand it. Like I said, I need other people to tell me what's going on here. I mean, the very first one, 5 number 1 seeds ever since the merger, and that goes back, that's almost 50 years now. That would be the last 48 seasons. Only 5 times did the number 1 seed in either conference get swept before the finals. Only 5 times. LeBron James got 2 of them. He got 2. They swept Atlanta in 2015 and Toronto in 2018. The other ones, from 1977 to 2000, that's 24 years? The only one that got swept was the Lakers. And then in 2001, San Antonio got swept. But again, that was the Lakers at the peak of their powers in the middle of their three-peat. And they won the championship. And then in 2003, when New Jersey won, that was when San Antonio was starting their dynasty. And then you have Cleveland sweeping both these teams. And then they turn around and got lost in 6, and they lost in 4. Now, the other thing, like I said, that to me, I just can't understand. They beat Detroit 4-2, right? Okay, 4-2. In 2011, they beat Chicago 4-1. In 2014, they beat Indiana 4-2. Then they beat Atlanta 4-0 in 2015, beat Toronto 4-0 in 2018, with a total record of 20 wins and 5 losses against the number 1 seed, meaning Cleveland was not the number 1 seed, but yet they went 20-5 against the 1 seed. Let me just put a little secret. The Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. Now, granted, Jordan was the 8 seed going up against Boston. He got beat both times when he was going up against Boston as a 1 seed. He lost to Detroit in 89 and 90 going up against Detroit. That's 4 losses. They did beat the Knicks in 93 because they were the 1 seed, a lot in the 90s. But anyway, in his 5 cracks at a 1 seed in the East, he got 1 and 4 for Michael Jordan. So this guy's over here going 5-2. 5-2 against the number 1 seed in the East. But then when he gets to the finals, this is his record. It's the exact opposite. How could a guy go 20-5 against the 1 seed in his conference and then go 5-20 in the finals? That is nuts to me. And you weren't playing the 1 seed all those times. In 2007, San Antonio was the 3 seed. In 2011, Dallas was the 3 seed. In 2014, San Antonio was the 1 seed. In 2015, Golden State was the 1 seed. In 2018, Golden State was the 2 seed because it was Houston. So you only played the 1 seed twice in 2014 and 15. So again, I don't get it at all. And it's not like all those teams, like 2011 Chicago, they were not bums. 2014 Indiana was a solid team. They weren't great. And I know, 07 Detroit, 15 Atlanta, and 18 Toronto. No, they weren't great teams, but they were decent. They had to be somewhat good to win 59 and 60 games. and they just get mollywopped by Cleveland. And then Cleveland turns around and gets mollywopped. I've just never seen anything like it. Like I said, I had this information. I didn't know what to make of it. And any one thing, I wasn't really sure, I don't know if I could really make a video out of it, but I've just figured if I present all of it, maybe somebody can fill me in. I just don't believe it's just competition alone. It can't be that the East was this incredibly weak and the West was just amazingly strong. I just don't buy it. I think that, yeah, definitely the East was the weaker conference, no question, and the West the stronger conference. But not by that much, not by as much as what this says. Oh no, that's crazy. I mean, you look at a team like the Lakers. Now I know they had a better team and all that in the 80s. I get that. But they were going up against some damn good teams like Philly and Boston and Detroit and the Bulls in the finals. And they didn't get shell shocked. At one time they won 5 out of 7 championships before running into the Pistons in '89, and they had injuries. Magic, Byron Scott, they had injuries. And then in '91, they also had injuries. James Worthy was hobbled, kind of like Steph Curry in 2016, hobbled. Not exactly injured to the point where you're missing games, but hobbled nonetheless. But the Lakers won championships. They beat weak competition in their conference, but then they turn around and also won in the finals. This stuff's crazy. I mean, I can't even, I bet you're never going to find anybody like this that would go 20-5 against the 1 seed within their conference and then go 5-20 in the finals. I dare you to find that. Please, somebody find me that. I would love to see a player, a team, anything that went 20-5 against the number 1 seed within their conference, and then in the finals, doesn't even have to be the 1 seed in the other conference. It could be any seed. Goes 5-20. I would love to see that. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. It would really help me out. It turns out the like button means more than anything. So if you guys could just do that one simple thing for me, I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. And that's it. Until next time.